Hi there, this is Penelope. This is a recorded version of the live lecture from Wednesday, the second class in the course MG5004. Try and get through it quicker than I did with the recordings of the first lecture because we ended up with 3 of them. Okay, quick reminder of the rules governing powers. A to the power of m is a to the m. You add the powers. If you're dividing, you subtract. If you have a power to a power, you multiply. If you have 1 over, it's a negative power. Don't forget also that 1 over a negative power actually ends up being a positive power because it's 1 over a to the m. A to the n over m is the mth root of a to the n, or we could have written it the mth root to the power of n like that. And don't forget that a to the 0 is 1. Now, it won't always be a to the 0 looking quite as straightforward as that. So just bear in mind, though, that anything to the power of 0 is 1. These ones, you need to be able to put things into powers of 2 sometimes if you can. Let's look at the first one. We're just going to simplify the first one into powers of roots of 2. Root 18 is root 2 times 18. Sorry, root 2 times 9. What am I doing? And root 32 we could write as root 2 times 16. And then we're going to subtract root 50, which is the square root of 2 times 25. Now, 2 times root 9, root 2 times root 9 is 2. The root 9 is 3, so it's root 2, 3 of them. And root of 16 is 4. And root of 25 is 5. So the answer there are 3 plus 4 minus 5, which is 2, root 2. 6 over root 2, we need to get the root 2 off the bottom, so we can multiply top and bottom by root 2. And then we get 6 root 2 over 2, so we get 3 root 2, so that's B. Might do C over here. 2 over 1 minus root 3. If we multiply top and bottom by 1 plus root 3, then the top line becomes 2 plus 2 root 3 over 1 minus 3, which is negative 2. And then we can divide top and bottom by negative 2, so we get negative 1 minus root 3. D, just multiplying out our 2 brackets, we get 1 minus root 6 plus root 6 minus root 6 times root 6. We can convert all of those to numbers, so then it would be 1. Those 2 cancel out, so it'd be 1 minus 6, negative 5. The next one again, we need to, it's called rationalizing the denominator. We need to multiply by 1 minus root 6 on the top and the bottom. So when you work that all out, you end up with, if you simplify it and take out a negative sign, right, so you just multiply those 2 out as brackets. Fundamental rules, right, we now need to use them. Wow, that's a bit of a mouthful. So we need to find f, simplify it. The first term, taking the cube root of each term there in the first one means we just divide each of those by 3, so that would be a squared b. And then we're going to divide that by, okay, the square root of all of that. Square root of 1 over 9 is 1 over 3. The square root of a to the 4 is a2. Square root of b to the 6 is b cubed times, now it's going to be the negative of, so it's going to be 1 over 4 root a6b2, so that'll be to the power of a half. So then we've got, what have we got? We've got a squared b times, now it's a reciprocal, so it's got to be 3 over a squared b cubed times 1 over, now we're taking the square root of everything on the bottom, so it would be 2a cubed b. And if we multiply all of that together, whoops, I started going down the wrong track. I didn't square root twice. So now I have in my answer here, so the square root of 4 is 2. Now inside the bracket it's got to be the square root of a to the 6 square rooted, so that would be over 3 over 2. And b squared square rooted would be b to the 1 square rooted, which would be just b to the half. Okay, so your final answer then, and make sure you can get it, is 3. 3's on the top, 2's on the bottom, and everything else is going to cancel out on the top, so we're left with ab squared times a to the half, b to the half, which I'm going to write as the square root of ab. Factorizing massive things, you've got a cubic there. Obviously there's no total common factor, but we can group it and then maybe we can see what's going on. So if we group it as try x cubed minus 4x squared y plus the other two, xy squared minus 4y cubed. Now we might be able to see some common factors there. So yeah, in the first one x squared is common, and in the second one y squared is common. Now we're cooking with gas. Now we've got a common and a common, so it's going to be x squared plus y squared, x minus 4y. Rules, you should already know this. You should be able to just write down a plus b squared and get it right. Okay, so completing the square, just something you possibly didn't do in the diploma. If you did the diploma, let's have a look. Let's have x squared minus 6x minus 4. Now we can't directly factorize that, so let's rewrite it into this format. So here a is 1, b equals negative 6, and c equals negative 4. So if we rewrite it like that, so that'll be x minus 6 over 2 squared minus 4 minus negative 6 squared over 4. Now if we tidy all that up, what have we got? We've got, what have we got? X minus 3 squared minus 4 minus 36 over 4, so minus 13. What about 4x squared minus 16x plus 3? Now we can't factorize that, but a equals 4, b equals negative 16, c equals 3. So we do that same thing, 4 times x minus 16 over 8 squared plus 3 minus negative 16 squared over 4 times 4. And when you do all that and tidy it up, it's equal to 4 times x minus 2 squared minus 13. And later on when we come to solve that, we can't solve it yet because we've got nothing on the other side, but later on when we come to solve it, sometimes that's useful to do. Okay, factorizing there. We need... let's look at that. We could rewrite that instantly as a square plus something or other, plus a square. And in the middle, look at this, we actually get 2 times 4x and 5y. So we can straight away go, well, we know that pattern, we recognize that pattern, and that's 4x plus 5y squared. Okay, now the next one, it's one of the rules, and we can write it out as, because we've got a square minus a square, we can write it out as 2x plus 3y minus x minus 4y. That's your first bracket, and your second bracket is the plus version of that. And working that all out, you get x plus 7y times 3x minus y. Okay, factorizing these ones, we can just factorize them. We want numbers that multiply to give 6, 3 and 2. And then we want factors of 3 that we can slot in there that will multiply out to give us 11. So why don't I try 1 and 3? It's all positive, check it. That's 6x squared, 9x, 2x, 3. So the, the old smiley face, only I haven't drawn that as a smiley face. Okay, the next one, 8x plus 18. Okay, so I'm going to go for, what I do is I write 8x squared as 2x, 4x, because that's what you get, or even I just actually forget about the x, and 4 and 2 and 8 and 1 and 1 and 8. That gives me the factors of the 8x squared, and then the factors of 5 are only 5 and negative 1, or negative 5 and 1, or the other way around, 1 and negative 5 and negative 1 and 5. So I keep on cross multiplying until I get the right one. So that one, that pair, that's not right. So let me try the next pair. 2 times 1, yep, and 4 times negative 5. Does that give me the right answer? Let's just try it. So then I'm just going to write 2x, oh maybe the first one did, 2x and 5 and that. Let's try it, 2x plus 5 and 4x minus 1. So that was the very first one I tried, that one there. Yes, it works. So check it, it does. Okay, I'm going to have to stop the video there before we do the next question because it is just far too long. So see you in part 2.